Hey everybody, welcome to the Greg Luchak Show. Today we're going to be talking about a series of books, well, one in particular. But like I mentioned last week, I wrote The Wealth Principle. It's based on the My Greatest Business and Investor Training Program, where I wrote a series of books. And the first chapter of that program was How the Wealthy Do It. And then my book, The Wealth Principle, was based on that chapter. Today we're going to be talking about the second book in the series, Planning Your Business. The book's about planning your business, so it's an outline on how to write a business plan. So if you're thinking about starting a business, it's always a good idea to write a business plan. And the book talks about, there's about 14 chapters in the little booklet that outline, if you were to write a business plan, what each individual topic should be covering, and a little bit about how to write it. And it's always a good idea to write your own business plan. I know in the past a number of people have hired me to write business plans, and I've always told them, the greatest way for you to learn about your business is to write your own business plan. So in the book, it contains like writing your own business, an overview, sales and marketing, your operating plan, human resources, essentially how you're going to hire people and what you're going to do with your people, an action plan as to how you're going to run your business. There's an executive summary that usually, depending on how you format your business plan, usually the executive summary goes at the beginning. Some people put it at the end. I like putting it at the beginning. Then your plan will also have a financial plan. The book talks about accounting practices, types of registrations, insurance, and then a little bit about your power team. So let's get into the introduction. So when you start in a conventional business, it can be challenging. 9 out of 10 businesses fail. The two main reasons are a lack of capital to sustain and grow a business and insufficient marketing. Once you've decided on the nature of your business activity, it's important to write a business plan. This book outlines the basic structure of a business plan. This is the nuts and bolts outline of what is required in a business. There is no fluff in the book. The information is to the point and specific, so it's basically a guideline of what you will find in a typical business plan. To start, never hire someone to write your business plan. Take the time to research and write your own plan. The best plans are always subject to change. You set your goals in concrete and your plans in sand. The whole idea of writing your own plan is that you will learn a lot about your business in the process. Your business plan is simply a guide that you should review annually to ensure you are staying on the course to reach your objectives. Most business plans are divided into approximately 8 sections: a table of contents, a business overview, sales and marketing, an operating plan, human resources action plan, and the executive summary. The other chapters, mission statement, accounting practices, registrations, insurance, and your power team are important topics to learn about. A typical business plan can be a minimum of 10 pages and as much as 50 to 100 pages. You need to take the time to do this, but it shouldn't consume all of your time. A well thought out plan can take a few weeks or up to a few months maximum. Then get to work putting some action behind it. Now you have to also realize, what's the purpose of your business plan? So like most business plans are written, basically it's a guideline on how you're going to run and operate your business. But you can also write a business plan that's specifically going to be targeted, say, for investors or for financiers. Like maybe you're going to take your plan to the bank and you're looking for a line of credit, or you're looking for a loan or equipment loans, or that sorts of things. Well, then your plan should be written with that focus in mind. So there's 2 options to writing your plan. Again, like I said, you're writing your business plan to how you're going to run your business, or you can write your business plan, and you should write your business plan if you're planning to raise capital, who it's targeted towards, whether it's directly to shareholders or investors, or it's to a joint venture partner, or it's to a bank or an institution where you're going to be getting specific types of loans, whether it's lines of credit or operating loans or of that nature. Your plan should be written with that in mind, and that should be outlined in your executive summary what the purpose of your business plan is. So let's take a walk through the business plan and see each individual section. So here we have writing your business overview, and you'll see there's a number of talks. So there's going to talk about the business. There's you're going to talk about your legal name, your trade name. You're going to put in your business address, your phone number, your email. This is kind of the contact information. right? If you have a website, you're going to briefly describe in a sentence what is the description of your business. What is the nature of your business in a few short sentences. You're going to have a brief description of major demographic and economic, social and cultural factors. Describe who your suppliers and distributors are, the nature of the industry that your business is in, the trends in your industry, if you should know those. This is why it's important that you write your own business plan, because if you don't know these things, when you're researching your business plan, you're going to discover some of this information, which you'll find very relevant to the operation of your business. You should know about government regulations, and then you need to know something about your market. The market segment you're in, the products and services that you're going to provide, how you're going to do your pricing and distribution, how you plan to set pricing and distribute your products. You want to talk about market trends and risk factors. And how do you plan to avoid or reduce the risks involved? Like, that's an important thing. So when you're approaching people with money, they want to know how you're going to solve problems. You're going to talk a little bit about your competition. So you're going to talk about competitors and the type of competition. Strengths and weaknesses. What's your competitive advantage? How do you plan to be better at what they do to take a portion of the market away from them? Like, what's going to differentiate you from your competition? Then you're going to have a section that's going to talk about sales and marketing. You're going to talk about your customers, your suppliers, how you plan to you briefly describe your plans for advertising and promotion. You're going to describe how you set pricing for your customers, for distribution. And what's your customer service policy? The next section of the plan is going to talk about your operating plan. The location of your business, the size and capacity, what are the needs of your business? How much office space or showroom space, warehouse, shop space? What are the advantages and disadvantages of your location? Are you going to lease versus own? What type of equipment and furniture and fixtures does your business need? Technology requirements, that sorts of things. So you're going to talk, you'll talk a little bit about research and development, environmental compliance. Sometimes you have to do an environmental study depending on the nature of your business. Then, any additional information you think might be pertinent to the operation of your business. And then you're going to talk about your human resources, key employees. Describe the employees you'll need, their responsibilities and qualifications. Things like directors, managers, supervisors, office staff, personnel, the policies and procedures that you're going to use, like the hours of operation of your business, how many employees, do you have a vacation program, performance assessment, training programs, and remuneration and benefits. Then you're going to create what's called an action plan. And this is very important because this is basically setting the goals of your business. And that's why when you write a business plan, you really should be, in the first year, you should be reviewing your business plan. I wouldn't do it daily. You're going to do it maybe for the first quarter, you're going to do it monthly. And then you might do it by quarter. And then you might, so every quarter, by the end of the year, and then the following year, depending on what goals you've achieved, you might just start reviewing your business plan annually. But it's something you need to review because, like I stated earlier, your goals are set in concrete, but your plans are set in sand. Your plans can be very fluid because you might start doing something, realizing, okay, that's not working, and you want to change the plan for that. So your action plan is going to outline what you're going to do to achieve your business and the goals, like hiring a board of directors if that's required, hiring staff, attending trade shows if part of your marketing and promotion plan, advertising points, initiate staff training program, weekly sales, purchase lease office space by a certain date, or lease equipment by a certain date, or advertise for certain periods of the year. Are you going to have a grand opening event? When's that going to be? What's going to be involved in that? You're going to create a power team. You're going to talk. You're going to make a list of potential buyers and investors and lenders. These are all part of the things, your action things that you're going to do. All the steps you're going to take to achieve your goal. Then within the plan, like I said earlier, you're going to write what's called an executive summary. And typically, when I write a business plan, I put the executive summary at the beginning. Because usually if I'm going to use a plan, say I'm looking for an investor for a property, the executive summary is going to highlight what the plan's about and what the mission of the plan is. So you're gonna have, my mission statement and the objectives of the plan. What's it for? So when you're looking for investment, well, you're going to state there, the purpose of this business plan is I'm looking for a particular type of investor. And so then you'll talk about your business history and products and services and project financing. You're going to outline management and advisors of your team, because you're going to create a team when you're creating a business. Like if you're going to be just a one-person team, that's one thing. But if you want to create a big business where you're going to be involving you're going to create a team of people, and you really should, whether they're employees of your team, your power team. We'll get into that a little later. But management advisors. If you're creating a corporation, often you'll have management advisors. Your investors may want to know who's advising you, where are you getting your information from. Risk assessment. Your contingency plan. In the event that you don't achieve your financial requirements, what's your backup plan? Financial institutions, who are you planning to target? Any supporting documents, such as, business registrations, articles of incorporation, a shareholder agreement, partnership agreements, if there's more than one partner. They can all be attached as addendums if your potential investors want to review what you're doing. You can have them as addendums. Then you're going to have your financial plan, which you'll want to include an annual monthly cash flow projection. You're going to have a current balance statement. What do you have in the bank and what do you owe? Your current income and expense statement. And then you should have at least a 5-year performance and income statement. When I do real estate, in Real Property Investors, it calculates a 10-year performance statement for the real estate projects, and that's something that you include. That program actually, Real Property Investors has within it all the statements that you require when you create them, including up to a 10-year performance statement. But it can also write a business plan. You can input all this information and create your business plan from Real Property Investors. It's under the Real Business Investors portion of that program. You're going to have a startup budget. Your startup budget will detail what expenses you will incur before your business even begins. You'll have a capital expenditure budget, which means, when you raise money, what are you going to use that money for? What are you're going to use it to buy land, buildings, equipment, what capital is earmarked for what types of investments, etc. You may require subscription agreements where you're subscribing to people to invest in a particular project, so you'll want subscription agreements. Any loans, debentures, or warrants. That's just types of paper attached to a corporation where you might get a loan from a shareholder or a debenture or a warrant. There could be options involved, all these things. You also want to talk about what your accounting practices are going to be. Operating your business means knowing the numbers of your business, especially businesses. And business is all about numbers. You need to understand how cash flow affects the profitability of your business. So you can read on that section there. It talks about charts of accounts, and this section talks about basic accounting practice. Basically, the accounting practices section talks about basic accounting practices and how to create a chart of accounts in your accounting system. You should really understand how your numbers are going to work. What assets and liabilities are, what equity is, and the difference between income and expenses, and what's the difference between a capital expense and an operating expense. Because you have to learn those differences, and you have to set up you should know something about your accounting, whether you're doing it or not, so you can understand how your business is operating. It also goes on to talk about other in-home office expenses. Say you're going to be operating from your home, mileage and vehicle logs, if you want to write off that. Registrations. You're going to talk about types of business registrations. There's self-employment, where you can get a master business license. You can operate as a proprietorship, a partnership, or a corporation. You can create a holding company. I talk in another book I wrote, Building Your Empire. We talk about 3-tier business structure. These are all things you can take into consideration. You'll also want to, it talks a little bit about, creating a business number or registering a business number with Canada Revenue Agency. Or if you're in the United States, same thing. You have to get a business number. Permits, business licenses and applications, workplace safety and insurance, because a lot of businesses require that. And then there's different types of insurance you want to consider. Liability, trade packages, auto insurance, mortgage, property, leasehold, performance bonds, life insurance, all these types of things. And then finally it talks about building your power team. You know, when you're going to build a business, you're going to create a team. Now they may be employed by you, and they may not be employed by you. They may be people, your go-to people. You know, if you're going to have a mentor, somebody who you can call, you know, real estate lawyers, business lawyers, trust lawyers, trustees, commercial realtors, home inspectors, contractors, plumbers, electricians. You know, this is skewed a little bit towards real estate because that's my focus. But whatever type of business you're going to create, you're going to be creating a power team. So, and your power team is going to have many different types of people in it. So the book talks a little bit about that. So there's a synopsis of the book. It's a quick little read. It's a guideline for you if you've never written a business plan. It gives you some information on what should be in your business plan and how to write it. So again, that's my short little video for this week. And I hope that you'll find these books that I'm writing, actually, I hope you find them interesting. I hope you want to purchase them. It's how you can support my talk show, the Greg Luchak Show. You can go on, the Greg Luchak Show, or go on to my site at gregluchak.com, and you'll find links there, because all of these books will eventually be available on Amazon.com and directly from my website. The Wealth Principle is available from both. If you want an autographed copy of the Wealth Principle, you can order that directly from my website. These short little ebooks will be very soon available. There's about 14 of them. Will be available on Amazon.com and other Amazon sites like Amazon.ca throughout the Amazon network. The books will be available once they're up. And that's my show for today. So I hope, click on the link on the top. If you ever plan to shop at Amazon and want to help support my business, if you click through the link, I get a referral fee. If you, support my business by, purchasing the books, watch the videos. They're free for you to watch. And of course, you can always support what I'm doing, support Christina's story. It's a GoFundMe that I set up for my wife's medical needs. So there's many different ways for you to support what I'm doing. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, I'm Greg Luchak. You have a great day and you keep crushing it.